Hi, today we are going to learn about a very interesting and important concept in mathematics. It is called additive inverse. Here you will understand what is an additive inverse, few examples of additive inverse, then how to add or subtract two negative numbers using additive inverse, and when we should not use additive inverse, and summary. Okay, let us focus on what is additive inverse. The additive inverse of a number is the number that when added to the original number results in 0, or additive inverse of a number is the number you need to add to a given number to make the sum 0. What does that mean? Let us take a positive number to give an example. Let us say you have a number 5, right? So you must add a number to 5 so that its sum is 0. So you will add minus 5 to 5 so that its sum is 0. So minus 5 is additive inverse of 5. Okay. Let us take a negative number and try to find out additive inverse of a negative number. Say for example you have a number minus 3. We need to add a number to minus 3 so that its sum becomes 0. So what you will add to minus 3 so that its sum is 0? We will need to add 3. Minus 3 plus 3 is 0. So we can say that 3 is additive inverse of minus 3. Let us understand couple of rules to find out the additive inverse of any number. For any positive number, its additive inverse is a negative number, right? The same number in its negative form. Like we saw, for any positive number 5, its additive inverse is minus 5. And for any negative number, its additive inverse is a positive number. Like we saw, for any negative number, that is minus 3, its additive inverse is 3. So you can take any number, for example, say we have taken 10. For 10, its additive inverse is minus 10, right? Say for example minus 8, its additive inverse is going to be 8. Okay. Now let us understand how to add or subtract a negative number using additive inverse. Pay attention, I am using negative number. So in this calculation, I will be adding or subtracting a negative number using additive inverse, right? And again, here are few rules. First rule says that subtracting a negative number is same as adding additive inverse of that number. Let me highlight these words. Subtracting a negative number is same as adding additive inverse of that number. What does that mean? Say for example, I want to subtract 3 minus 5, right? So in this example, I am subtracting a negative number. This is subtraction and this is negative number, right? So I will write negative number, and this is what we are doing. This is subtraction. Okay. So subtracting a negative number is same as adding. So 3 I will keep as it is. So this is going to be adding. So I will add plus additive inverse of that number. What is additive inverse of minus 5? It is 5. Getting this point? So 3 minus minus 5 is equal to 3 plus 5. And this says that subtracting a negative number minus 5 is same as adding plus additive inverse of that number. Additive inverse of minus 5, that is 5. So these are going to be same. Let us take one more example. Minus 2 minus 3. Here also I am subtracting a negative number. I am subtracting a negative number. This is going to be same as, I will leave minus 2 as it is, and it is same as adding additive inverse of this number of minus 3. So this is going to be same. Minus 2 minus minus 3 is same as minus 2 plus 3, right? So 3 plus 5 is nothing but 8. and minus 2 plus 3 is, I will highlight minus 2 here, and as we are adding plus 3, so I need to move right on the number line. 1 2 3, here we reach at 1. Minus 2 plus 3 is equal to 1. Isn't it simple, right? So the first rule is subtracting a negative number is same as adding additive inverse of that number, and we have seen 2 examples for this. Let's go to other slide, and here I will talk about rule number 2. So this we have already seen. This is rule number 2, right? So adding a negative number, I highlight this, adding a negative number. Here we are talking only about negative numbers. So whenever we need to add a negative number, this is going to be same as subtracting additive inverse of that number. What does that mean? Say I'm adding a negative number 3 plus I'm adding a negative number minus 2. Okay, so adding a negative number, so plus means I'm adding negative number is minus 2, and this is going to be same as subtracting. So 3 I will keep as it is. Subtracting is what? Minus additive inverse of that number. Additive inverse of minus 2 is plus 2, right? So this is going to be 3 minus 2, which is nothing but 1. Hope this is clear. Let me take one more example. Minus 3 plus minus 4 is equal to what? So as per the rule, adding a negative number, this is adding, this is a negative number, is same as subtracting. So let us write minus 3 first as it is, and this is going to be subtracting, so I am putting a minus sign here. Additive inverse of minus 4 is plus 4, right? So this is going to be minus 3 minus 4. Here we are minus 3, here is minus 3, we are here, and we need to take 4 jumps in the left direction. 4 jumps. So where we reach? We reach at minus 7. This is nothing but minus 7. Okay, so we have seen adding and subtracting both negative numbers using additive inverse, and we have seen 2 rules, that is subtracting a negative number is same as adding additive inverse of that number, and adding a negative number is same as subtracting additive inverse of that number. Hope this much is clear to you. There are few cases where I do not prefer to use additive inverse. I use additive inverse when I'm adding or subtracting a negative number, but when I'm adding or subtracting a positive number, then I generally do not use additive inverse, right? So let me take couple of examples. Say for example, I need to add minus 3 and 4. This time I have taken a positive number, I have not taken negative number. Negative number examples we have seen in earlier slides. So what will happen here? So this is very simple to calculate. On the number line I have to locate minus 3, so I'll draw a number line here. So I will locate minus 3 on the number line. Here we have minus 3, and I need to move in the right direction because I'm adding 4. 1 step, second, third and fourth step. After moving 4 steps, I reach at 1. So the answer is very simple. Minus 3 plus 4 is 1, right? So we don't need additive inverse to complicate this problem. So for example, additive inverse of 4 is what? Minus 4, right? So as per the rule, like what we saw in other example, minus 3 plus 4 is same as minus 3 minus additive inverse of 4, that is minus 4. Isn't it looking very complicated, right? And to simplify this kind of problem, we have actually we have used additive inverse. So this is pretty simple and straightforward. So whenever I need to add a positive number, then I do not use additive inverse. Say one more example, 2 minus 6. We need to solve this particular question. So this question is also very straightforward. You have 2, and from 2 you have to subtract 6, right? So means on the number line I will highlight 2, and from 2 I will go 6 steps backward because I have to subtract 6. So 1 2 3 4 5 6, I reach at minus 4. So 2 minus 6 is going to be minus 4. This is the answer. But by using additive inverse, we can complicate the question. For example, by using additive inverse, 2 minus 6 will become 2 and this minus will become plus and this 6 will become additive inverse of 6, right? So isn't it complicated? To solve this kind of problem, we adopt additive inverse, right? So when we add or subtract any positive number, then we don't use actually additive inverse because the calculation itself is very simple. Okay, to summarize, the additive inverse of a number is the number that when added to the original number gives a sum of 0. For example, 3 plus minus 3 is equal to 0. Okay, to find the additive inverse, simply change the sign of the number. To find additive inverse of minus 4, we simply need to change its sign from minus 4 to plus 4. This is the additive inverse of minus 4. Okay, so positive numbers have negative additive inverse and negative numbers have positive additive inverse. Like we have seen here, we only need to change the sign of the number. Next point is subtracting a negative number is same as adding additive inverse of that number. What does that mean? A minus B is same as A plus B, right? And the next what we learned, adding a negative number is same as subtracting additive inverse of that number. A plus minus B is equal to same as A minus B, right? And also we spoke about I prefer to use additive inverse when adding or subtracting a negative number. When I add or subtract a positive number, then I do not use additive inverse. So I hope this lesson has helped you understand the concept of the additive inverse. Remember to practice finding additive inverse with different numbers. That way you can become more comfortable with this concept. Thank you for watching and see you in the next lesson.